The romantic notion of being a starving artist is just not practical. Artists need platforms to monetize their work to survive. Now, a new app is helping make this happen. Esthics Software Solutions has developed the Art to Business app. It's already being used by the Mphulwane University of Technology as part of work integrated learning. For more, CEO and founder of Esthics Software Solutions, Hope Mphulwane, joins us now to chat about this app. Good morning to you, Hope. Thank you very much for joining us here on the South African Morning.
Good morning, Abigail. Thank you for having me.
My absolute pleasure.
And good morning to the viewers at home tuning in to listen to the interview.
Of course. So tell us a little bit about this app, but let's backtrack a little bit and talk about where you saw a gap in the market for such an app to begin with.
All right. You know, the conversation is quite interesting because initially, so back in 2017, I was in, an office, right? I was in my cubicle. And I actually, felt a bit demotivated on that particular day. And something came to me. Why do we not have, a revolving or changing scenery, to keep employees within, this particular, or rather people who spend their days in the offices, more captivated by something new to look at. So I had an idea, right, of, creating a platform where major corporate companies would actually, outsource work from, talent and artists out there in the industry and actually, place it in various areas within the office space so that people could always have something beautiful to look at.
Okay.
Taking into account that the visual arts industry in South Africa is so diverse and, offers so much in terms of talent, right? That's where the idea began, right? And this was back in 2017. So from 2017, I conceptualized the idea, put it on paper. And, as the years flew by, I struggled, with creating a concept for the application. Eventually I did. And, we had an opportunity to pitch it, to someone who was able to actually then help us turn the concept into an actual product, which is where we are right now. Okay. So we've been building this mobile app for the past 2 to 2.5 years, until completion, to where we have a fully fledged product that people can now access, via the Android Play Store or the Apple App Store. Okay. So
just for clarity, the app is called Art to Business. So what is the app called?
All right, so just to give clarity,
yes.
Art to Business is a service that is split between 2 mobile applications.
Okay.
We have an application for, artists to upload their catalogs, as well as, their artist profiles, such as their artist statements and bios, and as well as obviously their catalogs. So we give artists, emerging artists, the freedom to be liberal about how they want to advertise and showcase, what they offer to sell, right, and showcase to their potential clients. That is one app called Art to Business. Okay. And then we have another application for the potential clients and consumers to these particular visual artists who are emerging and, are unknown relatively in the industry, right? So that's how the service is split apart. It's split apart between 2 apps. So last month we actually released, the final link to the chain being the client application. It's the same analogy as, building a store, brick and mortar, and, not having anything to sell. So before you can have anything to sell, you first need to populate, this particular store that you have with produce that people can come and then consume. So for a while, we actually found it very challenging to actually, reach out to artists so that they could, be made aware of this, incredible application that we've built along with a friend of mine called Patrick Mkupa, by the way, who couldn't join us unfortunately today. But then, yes, anyway, so we've built this application and we struggled to get to that point until the Mphulwane University of Technology.
Yeah, who's actually using it now.
Precisely, right? They saw an incredible opportunity for their students. So from the initial idea and where it started to where it is has transformed vastly, right? Because right now it's no longer just an e-commerce platform for visual artists. It's also an ed tech, service that can be used. So we are actually playing a very crucial role in helping students not only learn about the theoretical aspects of what they do and want to become professionals in, we're actually now also giving them access, to understand the ropes around how to build, their businesses and actually integrate what they have digitally. Do you understand what I mean?
It's so interesting to see how the art space is being revolutionized and how it's transforming. I mean, there's been conversations that I've had about NFT galleries, so it's really interesting to see how that space is evolving when it comes to technology. Let's just talk about the importance of being a transformative and making sure that there's growth and making sure that there's development when it comes to the arts in South Africa.
All right. So, do you know what? It's very interesting that you raise these points, right? Precisely the NFT part. In my own opinion, I would say that, that space is more for the Western side of, of the world, where things are a bit more advanced in terms of technology. Right now, the primary focus is to get started in South Africa, because we have so many issues that people face on a daily basis. But then, they do not have the necessary tools that they could use to better their lives, and to actually become better people. So with that being said, our initial focus, right, in this particular case is to, introduce to the market a product that's sort of going to disrupt the way things have been done, where people need to rely on platforms that were not created initially, with the idea of actually helping visual artists. For example, I want to refer to social media. Right now, a lot of visual artists actually use social media to, expose their brands and actually showcase their catalogs. But then let's not forget that social media was not created with that in mind, right? Those were just integrations that were made to accommodate, for these people who actually use these tools for their businesses. So
I just want to make sure that we get the message out there. Are the apps available on app stores and on platforms? How do people engage? How do people download?
All right.
Get involved quickly.
So both applications are available for the iOS platform on the App Store for iPod, iPad, and iPhone. And they're also available on Google Play Store for for Android, operating systems, Samsung's, Huawei's, and so on and so forth. So they are downloadable. All you have to do is literally log on to the app stores, search Art to Business. So there's a distinction between the two apps. For the artists, it's called Art to Business, and for the clients, it's called Art to Business in bracket buyer. We didn't want to, change names because we didn't want to, separate the relation between both applications that are currently out there for consumption.
Well, thank you very much for sharing this amazing platform and for talking to us a little bit about the journey and how you've gotten to this point. I wish you all of the best.